A lot of Football Manager has been played since we last saw each other. The entire month of November has come and gone. Some great results in the league. We've moved on in the FA Trophy, which leads us to a rematch of the FA Cup third qualifying round. We're taking on Scarborough Athletic again and again before we meet up with South Shields just before Christmas. And welcome back one and all to our Director of Football Challenge here in FM24. Jesus has made yet another move, not a player in, but a player out, and that is Tom Edge. He made just one appearance in the league. It was actually in the first match of the season coming in off of the bench. He just suffered from our glut of central midfielders, and with Jesus bringing more and more in all the time, it was time for Tom Edge to go. Another free transfer, not getting any cash for it, but now he's at Biggleswade Town, which is an awesome team name. So much great stuff in the league. We kicked things off after our tragic loss in the last episode with a 2-1 victory on the road at Brackley Ronanmar, picking up a pair of goals. He then added another in a 2-0 home thrashing against Kings Lynn, who were down in the relegation zone. Honestly, this should have been a whole lot more. We played excellent football in this one. Kings Lynn really didn't get a ton of opportunities at all. Unfortunately, I can't say the same about our next match on the road at Warrington. We still managed to pull out a 1-0 victory on the back of a Gabriel Overton 68th minute goal. We seem to score a lot of goals in the 68th minute now that I think about it. It's one of those patterns that you notice. Warrington outshot us. They got more shots on target. Their XG was far superior to ours, and they managed to hold on to the ball for half of the game, so we didn't even dominate in possession. But where it counts, we picked up the victory. And we kept the good times rolling as we returned home and took on Alfreton. Now, they did take a 1-0 lead on the back of a Josh Clackstone goal, but Harrison Naaman getting his first of the year, Ronanmar his fourth in 4, and a 2-1 victory as we once again rolled. So I think the scoreline flattered Alfreton just a little bit. And then we made it 5 on the bounce as we took on Shorley in the second round of the FA Trophy. Header off of the corner kick by Callum Sullivan in the 32nd minute would be all we would need to secure victory. Now, I do need to give a little disclaimer. This was actually the second time we played this match. After the first time, my game crashed, so we had to do it all again. That one was still a Rushall victory. It was 4-3, so Chorley did a little better in that one, but we also lost out on a lot of goals, so I guess it evens out. Either way, we picked up the victory, moved on to the third round as we did the first time around. Sadly, 5 in a row was all we could do. A 2-2 draw on the road at Boston United, and we only managed that because Sam Mantom scored in the 3rd minute of second half stoppage time. We were owning this match. An own goal from Boston United's Zach Mills put us up 1-0 in the 78th minute. It was actually a pretty good shot, so really the own goal thing is a little unfair, but then they were awarded a penalty that Martin Woods converted in the 84th minute. Then Michael Bostwick, just a minute later, made it 2-1 Boston United. And in fact, they probably deserved all 3 points in this match. We were very lucky to get away with just the one, but at least 5 unbeaten in a row in the league, which unfortunately would all come crashing down on the trip to Blackwell Meadows. A 3-0 loss to Darlington. They absolutely outplayed us. Got a little unlucky on the first goal. A shot deflected off of the leg of Jamie Knight-LaBelle. He was trying to do something defensively, but it deflected the ball past Jake Weaver. Then Mitchell Curry converted a penalty in the 31st minute. 20 minutes later, he picked up his second of the match. Really not a ton that we could do in this one. We did get off more shots. We just could not find the target. We couldn't dominate possession, which is fine. That's not really the way we play our game. But our first loss in the league since the last episode has done some very nice things for us. First, it let us rebound at home against Southport with a 3-0 victory. And then we would repeat the feat a week later against Blythe. A pair of goals for Jordan Masidi, 3 in the last 2 matches. Jaden Charles picking up another in the 80th minute. We, my friends, are on an absolute roll. In fact, we find ourselves in a fantastic position, 5th on the table after 22 matches, 12 of them wins, 4 draws, 6 losses, a plus 13 goal difference. 40 points puts us 9 off of the top of the table. Only 3 ahead of 8th place Alfreton, so we are kind of hanging on to that playoff spot by the skin of our teeth, but we are 20 points clear of the relegation zone, and that is what is most important. And oh yeah, how can I forget? Rushall has offered us a new 2-year contract. We're making a little bit less money than before. That's okay. We wanted the 2-year deal instead of just one extra, so we are going to accept that right away, which also means that we're keeping on our man Jesus de la Guardia, our director of football, who so far has done a pretty good job. Hasn't gotten quite everybody he's wanted, kind of lowballs guys on their appearance fees, but you know what? It's okay. It's saving us money in the long term. He is going to be with us through the end of the 2025 season. So as our contract goes, so does my man Jesus. Well, getting our revenge on Scarborough is not going to be as easy as I would have liked. Ronan Marr and Gabriel Overton are both out with injuries. They were doubtful coming in. They are definitely not going to be making the squad. So we have got Tyrell Hamilton and Andre Landell leading the line. Our midfield will consist of Coyle, Naaman, Moore, and Basidi, with Charles, Brown, Squires, and Sullivan on the back line. And my man, Jake Weaver, back in full form in the goal. Now, that match, the 3-0 against Darlington, that was actually Weaver's first match back, coming back from his injury, so we're going to give him a little bit of a pass. He just needed to knock some of the rust off of his joints after he had missed a little while out there. So 4-2-3-1 coming from Scarborough Athletic. We of course are playing our 4-4-2, which thus far has been very successful against most teams except Scarborough Athletic. And not only do we take them on here in the third round of the FA Trophy, but they are our next opponent in the league in the same venue. So back-to-back away matches against Scarborough before we take on South Shields, the one team that absolutely embarrassed us in the beginning of the year. So hopefully we can pull at least one victory out of this episode. We're not going to do the second Borough match live. We're just going to bring you the highlights of that one if I can get the right highlights to generate. Sometimes that's been a little bit of a problem with FM24 as of late, especially because I play most of the off-camera stuff on my laptop, and I've got my desktop here that we do all of the recording and streaming and stuff from. So maybe there's something getting lost in translation. I don't know. We'll see. I'm actually going to keep things right here as we bookend that match with this one and the one against South Shields. We are in possession, though. We do not have a shot on goal as of yet. Coyle playing it into the middle. That's going to be picked off by Maloney. Quick backheel pass to Thornton before laying it to his goalkeeper in Whitley. All we need to do is kind of keep ourselves in this match, and I think the issue that we have with Football Manager with the lower seeded team or the quote-unquote weaker team in the cup competitions, I do think that does apply in the reverse to a certain extent. So I do expect us to have a pretty good showing here. And I wouldn't be surprised if we were to win this match, then losing pretty badly in the league as things reset and the tables turn, even though I'm pretty sure we're ahead of them on the league table. I'll have to check. McHale taking it into the box. His shot is going to be muted by the defense, and it will go out. A corner kick for Scarborough coming in. Maloney taking the outswinger, and we have to get a little bit better on these set-piece defenses. Now, we're able to clear it kind of far, but the opponent was able to get there first and recycle the ball into the box, even though Brown handled that one pretty easily. And here we are on the counterattack. Coyle playing it up, looking for Hamilton. Thornton's going to get in the way, but Coyle will get it back along the sideline into the middle. Naaman with a little bit of space to his right toward the box, takes a shot that's going to be blocked pretty easily. Now Green up to McHale as the Scarborough counterattack is on. Over behind the defense, he's got Rutledge, but Rutledge whistling it over the crossbar, and we are able to escape from that one. In fact, not a single shot on target for either side in the first 15 minutes or so of this match, although the better of the opportunities definitely coming to the opposition, and we're leading in possession at 65%. Now 60, well, it keeps, I'm not going to just like update it every time it changes. That's not really the way we play our game. We are designed more around the counterattack, so I am a little wary about us having the ball that much because that's just not the way we play, and we don't play that way for a reason. Some of our guys are not the most technically gifted, but that shouldn't come as a surprise. A lot of the teams that I put out on YouTube don't seem to be very technically gifted. Good job by Weaver stopping that one. Maloney off of the free kick, looking to put it into the box. Squires deals with that pretty well. Hamilton is going to throw it forward. He can't pick out Naaman, though. Cleared away by Brown. Landell picks it up as he was a more deep-lying player for the set-piece defense. And we are in control until we're not. And here comes Scarborough Athletic the other way. Green up that left sideline. Into the middle, looking for Colville. Finds him, but he can't find the target. Well, nothing else during that first half, and I guess I shouldn't complain too much, even though the opposition is getting the lion's share of the opportunities. If they're not going to be good opportunities, and they're not really going to put us under a ton of pressure, then I guess it's okay. Now, we don't really have top guys as our strike pair for this match, although Andre Landell has been pretty gosh darn good for us, primarily in a support role coming in off of the bench as a substitute. So him getting extended minutes, I guess, is good for him. Tyrell Hamilton, we bigged him up a lot because of his preseason performance in the first episode or two. But he really did fall down to earth, and we replaced him, obviously, on the bench with Landell fairly early on, and Landell really has paid off. Bit of a knock to Will Squires. Going to look to maybe get him off of the pitch. We'll see what happens in this little run of play. See if he's hampered too much. Good job by Charles getting in front of it, but just clearing it away to absolutely no one except the Scarborough Athletic defense. Played forward, Colville getting behind, and once again, not taking advantage of the opportunity presented to him. We are going to get Squires off, so we're going to move Jordan Brown over and Knight LaBelle in there. The reason being is when we loaned him in, we did promise that we were going to play Knight LaBelle as a no-nonsense center back. We weren't, and his regular coach came at us and was pretty mad about that. So every time we do get an opportunity to put him in that role, we are going to take it. We don't want to tick anybody off. We don't want to make Jesus look bad. He is the one making these promises, so technically it would be Jesus making us look bad by forcing us to pigeonhole these players in certain roles, but it's one that we had in our tactic anyway, so really it's not that big a deal. This match really has not been a very good offensive showing, really, for either side. We have only managed 4 shots ourselves, none of them on target. Ball thrown over the top. Thornton will head that away. Green settling it down, keeping it away from Jordan Masidi. Playing it toward Colville, finds him. Rutledge with it, drops it back for Perver as a couple of guys make a run for Scarborough. Into the box, it's Green, into the middle. He's got Dominic McHale, and there we have our first goal. Why was I complaining about there being no offense? I should have known Football Manager is listening to me. And as soon as I said, God, I want more offense, it was going to go, okay, I'll give you more offense. And the next thing you know, we are trailing by a score of 1-0 with 25 minutes left in this match. We are going to have to make a couple of subs out of necessity. Alex Moore feeling anxious. Get out of there. Sam McClintock is going to come in. Harrison Naaman also not doing great. Alex Fletcher will take his place. We're going to flip-flop them. I'd rather see McClintock in the slightly more attacking role. In fact, we are going to make him Mazzala on attack to try to get the ball forward, be an extra runner heading into the box, maybe give us some more options to pick out. But right now, we're not doing a whole lot of that at all, so we're just going to get more attacking as well. Cross over the back post, dealt with by Charles. Colville still with it to Perver in the middle before dropping it back to Bolajai, looking over the top, trying to find Rutledge, but Weaver coming out to claim that one. Great defensive play. Now let's get the counter going. Just please take your time. We're only losing 1-0, no big deal. Finally rolled it out. Knight LaBelle up the sideline looking for Coyle. Colville steps in front of that one. Now McHale's got it once again for Scarborough Athletic. He's going to go for gold, and he's going to fail. Not 100% sure what else we can do here. I think we're going to knock the tempo down a little bit, pass into space, go a little wide like we were before. Maybe even be a bit more expressive. I can't make any more changes, so Tyrell Hamilton, you are out there even though you are having an absolutely horrific game. But you know what? The cup ultimately doesn't mean a lot for us. I would have loved to have come back and gotten that revenge. I felt like we were a little hard done in the loss in the FA Cup third round. The fact that Football Manager pitted us against Scarborough Athletic again is great for the storylines, but not really good for us making a deep cup run. We could have used the money, to be perfectly fair, although I think we might get a decent take out of this one and maybe a late equalizer. Charles taking the corner. He has been excellent with his crossing so far this year, looking towards Brown back post, but Whitley is going to come out, gather it, and that pretty much should do it as we tick down to the end of the 4 minutes that were added on. And yeah, there we go. Final whistle. 1-0 your final. We're out of another cup, which just means we can now focus on the league. The second of our back-to-back matches at Scarborough Athletic. The result was pretty much as we expected it. Beautiful header by McHale charging toward the near post, put them ahead. 25 minutes in. They would take that 1-0 lead into the half, then a terrible defensive play by Squires. Nice flick on, though. Porter passed Weaver, who made absolutely no effort for that one. And it was 2-0 Scarborough. They would make it 3. Through ball to Porter, another weak effort from Weaver. We ended up replacing him after the third goal was scored, and we were much more solid in goal. We even got a goal of our own back. More bit of a seeing eye shot from about 30 yards out. Made it 3-1, and that would be your final. We were just outplayed in this one. Yeah, we led in the possession again, but we talked about that in the live comm. That's really not our game. So when we find ourselves in a position where we are dominating a match like that, in that particular statistical category, it just means that other things are going wrong all around us. We did get our youth intake grain of salt time because they say it's going to be an excellent intake, but the highest grade we got is a C. Goalkeepers, central midfielders, strikers all say that they're short of the required standard, lacking quality, and not a great year for the position. So not sure how you get from average to excellent, but I guess we're going to find out in a couple of months when the players show up. Now, aren't we? Meanwhile, Jesus has put in an offer for another player, one that I'm not sure we need, but if we can sign a guy by the name of Callum Hallam, I'm all for it. Though if he could play striker, that might be beneficial. Tyrell Hamilton is out the door. Jesus is continuing to sell the guys that don't play a lot, which isn't terrible, but now we only have like 7 guys available for our 5-man bench. The 23-year-old is off to Hednesford again for free. Well, it would have been fun, but Callum Hallam, well, he ain't coming. I do have to admit I'm a little hesitant that we decided to come back with this match just because we've now lost 2 in a row. Hopefully we can right the ship here at home against South Shields. Yeah, you see what I just did there. We did make a couple of changes to the lineup. Sam McClintock is in getting the start as our left midfielder. Gabriel Overton, his manager, came to us and said, hey, when we loaned him to you, we said that you should play him as an advanced forward, and you agreed, and obviously, we haven't been doing that because he's been playing our deep lying forward and playing it very well. But we decided to bring him on, give Mar a rest, even though he did miss the match 2 matches ago because of an injury. But Mar is on the bench for this one. Overton is getting the start. So just 2 changes to the lineup. Hopefully, we see a better result than we did in the last couple of matches. A 1-0 loss on the road in the Cup, a 3-1 loss on the road. We also had a talking to with Jake Weaver before the match where we reminded him just how monumentally awful his last performance was and that he needed to shape up because as a goalkeeper, his mistakes are amplified and they really hurt us, and he understood. Go ball over the top, too far in front of Landell, however. So Callum Dobson will scoop that up and roll it out. Harper Bailey looking to get things started again. We've played 8 minutes and not a lot going on in this match so far. Great pickoff by McClintock. That's why he's in there. Landell's got it into the middle. Oh, it's too far behind Naaman. And once again, South Shields in control. Played ahead to Abbey, trying to break through the line. Does he get around our man? Yeah. Oh, what a move. Into the middle. Stevenson's header is on and over the leaping body of Weaver. But the goal has been disallowed. They're going to say he was offside. Ensuing free kick. Let's see if we can move it up the pitch and we don't turn the ball over stupidly. Sure, let's just go long. Oh, over the top. Overton is in. Bit of a side angle. Plays it into the middle. He's got Landell. And, oh, my goodness. Dobson getting his hand on that one. That would have been an absolutely brilliant goal. That would have been started by Jake Weaver, atoning for the fact that he did such a poor job on the other end. Ball punched away. Landell heading it into the box. Our man taken out. No call as Tahir puts that out for a Rushall Olympic throw. Oh my goodness gracious. That looked like we were destined to score, and that gives me hope for the remainder of this. Why do I say anything? Final third throw, and Duru into the middle. Good job by Squires getting that away. He also did not have a very good match in the 3-1 loss, so hopefully he is going to put on a better show here. I thought about bringing in Knight LaBelle in his place, but I decided to give Squires a chance to redeem himself in this one. So leaving Marr on the bench was not a punishment to him, but we're just trying to get Overton's coach off our back because we want to keep him around. He has been excellent for us so far. Good give and go. Looking for Overton. Dobson again swatting that away. Name on to Charles into the box. Breaks sliding tackle. McClintock's shot will be deflected out behind, and it'll lead to another Rushall corner. This one will be a right-footed delivery from the far side from McClintock into the middle. Oh, we just couldn't get ahead on that one. We tried. The effort was there, so you've got to applaud the effort. But still, 22 minutes into this match, and we have no score, although we have been buzzing around the South Shields goal. Tahir in control for them in the midfield. Shan out wide, trying to move his way around Sullivan. Good defense, but he's finally able to get the ball clear to Tahir. Edge of the box, Berg back for Briggs in the middle, pushing it forward, out wide right. Duru gets past his man into the middle. Stevenson is gonna miss that one. It's going to go wide. First really good opportunity for South Shields. They still have not yet hit the target in this match, and honestly, that's perfectly fine by me, but I find that they are in control once again. Just a couple of minutes later, Tahir, somebody get on him, please. Good switch of play over to Agatise, looking for Stevenson, back post. He finds him, he just can't find the net. We're much closer to like 34-35% in this match, so as you can see, we're having a much better time of it. Yes, we're going to see South Shields with the ball a lot, but we're getting the better of the opportunities because this is how we like to work our game. Agatise getting on the end of that cross, but once again, South Shields not hitting the target. 0 for 4 so far in that category. Yeah, like we've got a decent XG. We've hit the target a couple of times. We have looked like the better team as far as scoring is concerned. We are just doing what we need to do, which is allowing them to have the ball, but have the ball in places that aren't super dangerous for us. And even when they do get the ball in, us being there defensively and being solid at the back and as responsible as humanly possible. Weaver taking his time before rolling it out to his left. Brown also taking his time. No, guys, please, we don't need to score or anything. There's only a minute and a half or so left in this first half. Moore splaying it out to the right. Masidi there, decent first touch. He's got Naaman in space, finding McClintock quickly. Overton trying to get it in. Landell with a drive right from outside of the box. His 7th goal of the season. Harrison Naaman's going to pick up the assist. Rushall Olympic takes a 1-0 lead over South Shields, whose position at the top of the table is looking quite tenuous. And if we are able to hang on to this one, that will make 2 victories on the season. So we will have done the double over South Shields. I don't want to get ahead of myself because there's still a lot of football left to play in this match, but I'm feeling encouraged. As long as I'm feeling encouraged, then I know we can do it. Good on the opportunities. We're about even in this game in a lot of circumstances. Now Landell does have a slight knock, so we may have to move Overton over after all, because now we only have 3 strikers on the roster. Ball over the top, Overton into the box, but Dobson will slide in front of him and gather that loose one to mute a very early threat here in this second half. 6-4 your shots on goal, but 1-0 is the score, and yeah, we're playing playing all right. Overton getting it to Moore in the midfield. Challenged, but he'll use Brown as an outlet across to his defense partner Squires, looking over the top. Oh, he's going to get Overton this time. Overton has 3 options in the box, but he lays it back. McClintock now going back post. Mesiti, not enough on that header to get it past Dobson. A pretty good save by the South Shields goalkeeper. Now possession is starting to get tilted the other way. Still only 43% for us, so we're still kind of in that green zone. Charles off of the corner. We can't win it. It's cleared away, but Landell will track it down. 51 minutes have been played, trying to get it into Sullivan, cleared by Harper Bailey, picked up once again by Squires. Moore in control across. Brown quickly out left to Charles, who will push it deeper toward the corner of the box. Gets McClintock in to the middle. Gabriel Overton, his 7th of the year. McClintock with the assist. Rushall Olympic 2, South Shields 0. You know, I don't want to risk Landell any further, so we're going to switch over Gabriel Overton, bring in Ronan Meyer. So much for his day off, and I just wish we could have played this kind of game against Scarborough Athletic. Overton winning it back, drops it for Mesiti. Sullivan looking to the far corner. McClintock in the box, into the middle. Overton, not once but twice, denied and cleared. We get it back. Moore looking for Landell. Dobson will knock it down. Landell had an opportunity, but great defense by Harper Bailey. But once again, we are buzzing. Mesiti up that right sideline, playing it toward Moore, but Tahir will step in front of that. Here comes the South Shields counterattack, and I'm afraid they're going to go up 1, cut the deficit 2-1, but Moore held him back. Honestly, a good foul to be taken by our team. Still 30 minutes left to play, so I'm not counting this as a victory just yet. And I don't love the fact that we're underperforming our XG. Now, we just picked up a whole ton in that little sequence in front where we just got really unlucky. Naaman looking for Machidi into the middle, finds Overton, flag stays down. He's got his brace. 8th of the year, Rushall 3, South Shields 0, and we're cruising. Ironically, we haven't really changed anything from the last match, yet somehow we are just finding a way to be dominant. Maybe it's because we're at home. I mean, great defensive play by our goalkeeper, Jake Weaver, cutting off the angle, making himself huge. Sure, it's going to lead to a corner kick. Tahir may send it short, and he does, to Agatiste. Tahir back, but he gets a heavy touch on it, so Squires is able to clear that away to the midfield stripe. We are playing excellent football, and this is diametrically opposite to what we saw off camera against Scarborough Athletic. So maybe, like I was starting to say, maybe it's because we are at home, and I will definitely take that home field advantage. But this is night and day to the last match, and I'm so glad, because we ran into this with our last save. We ran into this massive problem where no matter how well we played off camera, whenever we got on camera, we absolutely looked horrible, like a team 3 levels below where we were at. Today, we're finally being treated to a gorgeous all-around performance. 3.5 minutes left. We've got a 3-goal lead. This one is pretty much done. Overton winning it in the middle. Harper Bailey good on the defense. Over the top, Blackett in behind, but he's called for offside, but still a good defensive play by Jordan Brown, which would have denied any opportunity had he not been flagged. 4 minutes added on, and there's really nothing South Shields can do. And there is nothing South Shields has done. Just managing a single shot on target. Very wasteful of 1.47 XG, if you ask me. And we are going to cruise to a very nice victory in the league. An early Christmas present for us that we're going to be able to take on the road against Tamworth on Boxing Day, just a couple of days down the line. So that win still leaves us 9 points off of the pace, currently sitting in 4th place in the league. Remember, we were supposed to be relegated according to all of the pundits, and our board thought we were going to be fighting for relegation as well. But the first match of the second half of the season went absolutely swimmingly, keeping a clean sheet against South Shields. We've got a pair of games coming up against Tamworth. 1 home, 1 away, a bit of an odd bit of scheduling. We're going to come back at the beginning of the month of February. Let's see if any more moves get made. Again, Vanarama National North doesn't have your traditional transfer windows, but that's when most of the activity is most likely going to take place here in England. So let's see what Jesus has cooking for us. We're going to come back with an away match against Scunthorpe, and then we're going to be taking on Banbury. Right now, Scunthorpe just ahead of us on the table. Let's see if we can leapfrog them between now and then. If you've been enjoying the series so far, if you like this video, please hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Get the word out. I'm having a ton of fun doing this already. We've left everything into the hands of our director of football. So far, Jesus has not disappointed. There's still plenty of time left for that, though. Look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, my friends, bye-bye.